Welcome back, fellow Dream Warriors, to Riderpiece Theater! Me, Alistair Dayhawk, and tonight, me proud to present Kamen Rider Zeztz, episode 49. This is it, guys. Next week is the final episode. And in this episode, Yuya is telling us that, hey, you're gonna cry in this episode, and you're probably gonna cry in the last episode. And there were seeds planted from last week due to the fact that Baku hasn't been sleeping for quite a while now, and he has been using the extreme capsule in order to travel between realms without going to sleep. And Yuya, using Zeztz as a catalyst, told us that if he keeps going like this without going to sleep, then he will never return to the real world ever again. So this pretty much told me, and I'm sure everybody else, thinking that, hey, maybe, just maybe, Baku is going to have a bittersweet ending, and he is probably not going to return to the real world ever again. He's going to end up like Zeztz and also like Nem. I wouldn't be surprised that, it's almost like a death, almost like, hey, we're just going to kill off Baku. He's not really dead, but he's going to be in our dreams. He's going to safeguard our good dreams from the evil nightmares that will plague us. And, he's going to be the only secret agent, and that's it. It's just so obvious, unless Yuya decides to pull a wool out of my eyes and be like, oh, you thought this? No. I fooled ya, and does a 180. But I doubt it, because Yuya, ever since after Geats, he likes turning his main characters into gods. And I wouldn't be surprised if Baku will end up becoming the God of Dreams, or just given the title God of Dreams. Is he going to be truly a god? I don't know, but I do see him become the protector of good dreams. And for everybody who goes to sleep and meets up with him, he's going to grant their dreams to come true. So that's where I believe the last episode is going to leave. And also, the preview that I saw after this episode pretty much gave the ending away. I don't see him returning to the real world at all. And the scene between Minami and her brother, my God, the actress who plays Minami did a great job. Both of them together, they were great together. And it just sucks to know that this is probably going to be the last time Minami will ever see her brother in the real world ever again. Of course, people will bring up, well, hey, she could see him in her dreams, but it's not the same. It's almost as if Yuya is going to kill his main character off, but not really. Yeah, this is where I strongly believe that Baku's journey is going to be, he's going to end up being the protector of dreams, the god of dreams, and all that stuff. That's where it's leading towards. So yeah, Baku's going to have a bittersweet ending, while the rest of the characters will have the majority, the good ending. And also, I want to add Minami, I do get this feeling that she is also going to get a bittersweet ending, because she is going to lose her brother. So after Oblivion is defeated, that's when Baku is going to tell everybody that this is going to be the last time you ever see me in the real world, because that I haven't been sleeping and I'm suffering the consequences of doing such a thing. That I'm going to be stuck in the dream world for the rest of my life. Or probably until the end of time, because he practically is going to be an immortal. Yeah, and it's going to be a really tough scene to watch if it happens next Sunday. It's sad, but at the same time, at least Baku will get a higher purpose. because every human in the world wants to have a purpose in their lives. And Baku is no exception. And I've been thinking about this since last week about, okay, so he defeats Oblivion, the world is back to normal, the dream world and the real world are now separated. What's next for him? Can he at least try to live a normal life before becoming a Kamen Rider? I don't know. I just think that he has a higher purpose in the dream world than he does in the real world. And I think Baku is going to tell Minami and everybody else that, look, I don't think I have a purpose in the real world, but I do believe that he will say, I found a purpose in the dream world where I can fight nightmares and protect the civilians' good dreams. I could be the protector of good dreams. And of course, you will never see me walk in the real world again, but you will always have me in your dreams, the same way Nem did for everybody else in the entire world. So he's going to be replacing Nem and being the protector of good dreams. That's the way I'm looking at this. And the preview, it pretty much gave the ending away. I see, like we saw in the preview, Baku drinking, tea or coffee and seeing, the blue moon. I believe he is in the dream world doing that. And you saw Baku riding the motorcycle one last time and you see the red moon. That tells me that's like the final scene of the entire, episode and season. And it's just him telling the audience that he's going to be fighting the nightmares in the dream world from now on. And just like in Zeztz, where at the end it says, Ace, we trust, I think it's going to be a similar ending where after we see Baku drive off into the red moon, it's going to read, dreams surpass nightmares or have sweet dreams or whatever. So I think that ending's going to hit everybody's heartstrings, because it's just like, hey, we're not going to see Baku again. We're not going to see these characters again. But you get to see Baku in your dreams, and he's going to fight alongside you against the impending threat and all that. So we start from the opening credits, which, by the way, it's going to be the last time we're going to see, the opening credits, because as you know, with the final episodes, we immediately go from the opening title, and we immediately go, start the episode. So yeah, we're watching the opening credits for the last time, and then leading up to the first scene with Minami receiving a call from Scully that the world is back to normal, but the problem is everything involving Nem is gone, as if she never existed whatsoever. As Scully finished the call, she went back inside, and Mulder asked her if Baku and Nox returned, and she said no. And Mulder replies, oh great, the nightmare hasn't ended yet. And we immediately go to the next scene with Minami. She goes inside the spy office, and she discovers that Nem's body is gone. It disappeared, and she tries to call Baku to tell him that Nem is gone, but he doesn't answer. And so in the next scene, Baku is trying to find Nem, because he is in disbelief that Nem actually did that, and he wants her back. And you have both Nox and Zeke, mostly Nox, telling Baku that, hey, just accept it. She is gone. She made the ultimate sacrifice. The world is safe. And you have Zeke, who is openly giving props to Nem for pulling such a thing. Like, Zeke was like, oh, I didn't think that Nem had a set of balls to do what she did. I mean, he was giving her props. And Baku's like, I refuse to believe that, Nem is gonna return to me and everything's gonna be okay. And Nox, tells Baku, okay, let's say you do bring her back. You will bring back Oblivion, and once again, the world is gonna be in danger. So you're acting out of selfishness here, Baku. Yeah, like when you think about it, yeah, he is acting out of selfishness, but Baku, doesn't care at the moment. And then, speaking of Oblivion, we go to the next scene where we have a brief moment between Nem and Oblivion, and Oblivion also gives credit to Nem for doing what she did, right? Bad grammar, I know. And Oblivion said that, he would never have thought that you, Nem, will pull it off. And Nem just asks Oblivion, like, who is Nem? And Oblivion says, never mind. And so Oblivion and Nem drift off into nothingness together forever. So Nem is slowly disappearing. Her memories is slowly disappearing again. She is fading into nothingness. So we go to the next scene with Baku. He shows up at the lake and he immediately dives into the lake to try to find the door. But instead, he gets entangled and dragged down to the bottom of the lake thanks to the crazy Phantom. And the crazy Phantom demands the X-Dream capsule to be handed over to her. And her plan is to use its power along with her illusion powers to create a new Nem. And then they start fighting. And then in the midst of the fighting, Baku says, so wait a minute, so you openly admitted that Nem is nothing more than an illusion? And Baku adds, like, you saw her in the real world alive. And he will grant Nem's dream of living in the real world. And they fight, but they stopped, and the crazy Phantom responds like, okay, let's say you bring her back. It will lead to Oblivion is going to show up, and he's going to delete everything, and the world will return to shit once again if you actually pull it off. And Baku leaves her with the promise saying that Nem will return, and I'll bring her back to you. And the crazy Phantom doesn't do anything at all. She just stood there in shock and just lets him go. And that was it. And the moment he opened the door and entered through the door, he is in shock because he sees the room, the space, all white. Like, it's nothing. It's a door leading into nothingness. And Baku is like, oh, shit. She is indeed gone. Like he has that look on his face like, oh man, it's too late. It's like, I can't believe it, she's gone. We go to the next scene with Nox, and Mulder is, letting Nox inside the paranormal office, or the Black Case File office, and thanks to Mulder and pulling strings, Nox is once again reinstated. So right now it's Mulder and Scully and Nox. So they're gonna be the trio of working the black cases and being a part of the Black Case Files and all that. And Nox is giving Mulder and Scully the update of what happened to Nem. And this causes Mulder to say, hey, I'm gonna infiltrate the dream and bring Nem back. And as Mulder is writing in a piece of paper saying save Nem, Nox is like, wait a minute, so you're gonna infiltrate the dream and try to rescue Nem? Like, you like, how are you gonna pull it off? Like, let's say, like how can you pull it off when Zeztz couldn't? And Mulder responds with the best response, like, if Zeztz can't do it, then the paranormal, team, me, Scully, and you, we will how you say, exceed Zeztz. So if Zeztz doesn't work, me, Scully, and you, we will make it work. We'll be the ones to rescue them. And I find it so funny when Mulder just, before he grabs his box, Knox grabs the box first and sees a box full of sleeping stuff like a pillow, and he just rolls his eyes and just gives a deep sigh. I'm like, are you serious right now? Knox, this is going to be your team from now on, man. You're going to have to get used to all the crazy stuff that's going on in your team right now. And then Scully said the same thing. Like, she refuses to let someone else, quote unquote, die, and says that I wouldn't be a cop if I couldn't save that one person, because she is reminded how she couldn't save her best friend. I mean, how could she save her? So she's gonna have that painful reminder of her best friend, chalk body in the wall for the rest of her life. And she's going to use it as a reminder, hey, I'm a cop and I want to save people. I may have failed to save my best friend, but when it comes to Nem and other people, I will not. So Scully follows suit and grabs a box full of sleeping stuff, and she goes to sleep along with Mulder. And Knox was like, oh, I can't believe this, and he goes away. Like, Knox is like telling everybody that, please, Nem is gone. You have to accept it. And you have 3 people who refuses to believe that and just decides to go rescue her regardless of if she is legit gone or not. And yeah, so Knox is like, you people, just give it up. And it just kind of frustrates me because Knox is just a Debbie Downer, and he's just like, accept it. It's gone. Like, whatever. Nem is gone, so you have to deal with it. And then we go to the next scene. Minami decides to go to the lake as well, and she does something through the window, the telephone thing, and sees the lake, so she decides to go to the lake. And so we go to the next scene where Mulder and Scully wakes up at the lake, assuming that they got the location wrong. And then Minami shows up in her agent costume and asks, like, how in the hell did you manage to infiltrate the dream? And Mulder says that, hey, we've seen how you guys do it, and we've done a lot of black cases to the point where we know how to infiltrate dreams. That's how he said. And Mulder and Scully was trying to go into the lake, but then we have a funny moment between the two as they went opposite directions, and Minami is like, come on. So as Minami was trying to deal with Mulder and Scully at the side of the lake, Baku is inside the Rune of Nothingness, and he uses his extreme capsule to, bring back Nem, and you see him waving the capsule into the air, and you see, pieces of Nem's memories, and he just, waves his hand with the capsule and, yelling and screaming for Nem to return. And then we get to the next scene with the crazy lady and the Phantom. And we are witnessing, just like what happened with Zeke, a nasty divorce. Phantom is asking the crazy lady, why did you let Baku go? Oh, I know why. You felt the words that he told you about, hey, I'm going to grant you your wish and bring your daughter back to you, and you two can be a family. The thought of hearing a good dream, the thought of the possibility of achieving a good dream really pissed off the Phantom. And the Phantom says, well, because of that, I'm gonna have to divorce you and kill you. And the crazy lady doesn't do anything. She just stood there, and the Phantom just punctured through her with her entire arm. And you would think that that would, kill off the crazy lady, but not really. So after the Phantom punctured through the crazy lady just drags the Phantom back into her, so they both refuse together. And the Phantom's like, what the hell are you doing? And the crazy lady makes her final stand against the Phantom and tells her, you, Phantom, are not going to be Nem's mother. I am. She scratched her face with her hands, with her nails across her face, blinding both her and the Phantom. And then the Phantom, defused. And she's like, what the hell did you do? You blinded me. And the crazy lady, this is one of the reasons why I dubbed her the crazy lady. Because you see her with her white eyes indicating that she is blind, and she's laughing her ass off and be like, hey, I'm the lady that never sleeps. So I don't need my eyes, because I don't sleep. I never sleep. And she says her final words to the Phantom. She does something to cause the Phantom to disappear, and that's it. The crazy lady actually destroys the Phantom, and then she collapses to the ground. And so we go to Baku. He's on his knees. He is crying, and he's like, please return to me, Nem, please. And you see all these capstones on the floor. And then all of a sudden, Minami, Mulder, and Scully comes in. And Minami, tells Baku, like, you're such a stupid brother. Why are you always doing things on your own? Like, let your friends help you. And so Mulder, Scully, and Minami grab the capstones that were on the floor and does, the thing that Baku has been doing. And thanks to the power of friendship, they managed to bring back Nem. Nem is crying as to why you brought me back. Like, you don't understand. Like, why did you do this? And they have a group hug saying that, look, we love you. We don't want this for you. Like, you helped many of us, and now it's our turn to help you. And yeah, we love you. We don't want this for you, and that sort of thing. And you see her crying, and then the hug of friendship was interrupted because Oblivion returns, and Oblivion is like, oh, look at this. The power of friendship, brought Nem back, but also me, Oblivion. So the world will turn to shit once more. And Baku is telling everybody, hey, you need to go, so just go. So in the next scene, you see our heroes escape Oblivion and escape the room of emptiness. And Nem notices something that's in the lakeside. She picks it up and realizes that this belongs to her mother, the crazy lady. It's like a necklace or something. And she spots a purple butterfly, and she follows it, leading to the crazy lady. And there was a moment between Nem and the crazy lady because the crazy lady is dying. And she tells Nem that, as long as you are alive, the world is beautiful, and I will always watch over you. And she dies. And yeah, it's a powerful scene because regardless of how the lady did things, and I don't condone the things that she did, but she did it to protect her daughter, even up to the end, by saying, look, I love you. I will move heaven and earth for you. Hell, I created a world of illusions just for you, just to protect you and be a part of your life. And she's willing to sacrifice herself in order to protect her daughter, which she did. And yeah, it's a very sad, scene, but we get into an even sadder scene in the next scene or two, because man, Yuya is really telling the audience, hey, you're gonna see a lot of deaths here, so this is gonna be the beginning of their goodbyes, because yeah, you're not gonna see these characters ever again. So the crazy lady dies, and then we go to the next scene with Oblivion. He is once again using his pedal powers to erase everything in the dream world. And then we get to a quick scene with Zeke, and once again he wants to be cringe and he smiles, and that's it. And then this is where I talked about earlier with Minami and Baku's last scene together. So the scene starts with Baku narrating as he takes out the new capsule, which it's just a powered up version of the basic form, because it's tradition at this point where in the last episode, when it comes to the final boss, the main rider will have to use a power up version of their basic form in order to defeat the final boss, because it's the final goodbye to the suit, the final goodbye to the characters. Everything is the final goodbye. So we all know that final capsule is going to be the basic form, only its powers is tenfold. And so Nem wakes up and Baku leaves, and then you see Minami. Okay. And Baku thanks her for, rescuing Nem, because he says that because of you, Mulder and Scully, Nem has returned once again. And Minami asks, okay, when are you coming back? And Baku, with a straight face, tells her, I don't think I'm coming back. And he immediately hugs her and tells her, thank you for everything. Now, this is someone who knows that, yeah, this is going to be the last time you're ever going to see me. I'm probably going to be quote-unquote dead, so might as well tell you ahead of time that, hey, I don't think I'm coming back, and thank you for everything and all that. And Minami is hugging him so tightly. You see her on the verge of crying, but before she does, Minami is telling her brother, stop being a stupid idiot. I know you're coming back. You will come back. And Baku responds with, of course I will. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Of course I will. And you see a moment after he said that, it looked like he was turning towards the bed and be like, oh, finally, he's going to go to sleep the normal way. He's going to go to bed and go to sleep. And as Minami was about to turn Baku's way, assuming that he was going to sleep in his own bed, Minami discovers that he just disappeared, indicating that once again he used the X-Dream capsule to return to the dream world. And this is where Minami just falls on her knees and just lets it all out. She starts crying, and she's just saying that my heart cannot take this. Like, why, Baku? Why? And to be honest with you guys, I almost started to cry myself, because my God, like, you would think that Baku would just go to sleep in his own bed, and then Minami just turns around and just, and sees her own brother disappear, and probably for the last time, like, she collapses and she's like, oh my God, why, Baku? Why? She cannot do this anymore. And this entire episode, it's telling the audience that Baku, quote unquote, is gonna die, but he's gonna be in the dream world forever. He's not gonna live out his normal life in the real world ever again. We go to the last scene of the episode where Baku returns using the X-Gene capsule, and he's in this spyware, and he meets Oblivion face to face, possibly for the last time, and he turns into his impact form, and he starts fighting. And before he transformed and he came down, right? He returned to the dream world. He not only returned by himself, but you see Nem next to him. So they're both confronting Oblivion one last time. And like I mentioned before, he transforms into his basic champion form, his impact form. Oblivion and Zeztz fight. And Oblivion is telling Zeztz that, hey, you do realize that, you're making me stronger, or in this case, Nem is making me stronger because of her self-doubts, her fears. It's feeding me. I am unbeatable. And you see Oblivion using his magic to erase Zeztz from existence. But thanks to Nem, Baku ends up not being deleted, which causes Oblivion to be like, what the hell? That should have ended you. Why are you still here? And Nem replies, well, because, look, I know that my memories have, there's bad memories and good memories. I want to remember them regardless of how painful or not painful they are. And that's it. But, however, even though Zeztz was able to repel Oblivion's attacks, at least his main attack, he gets defeated. And then we get the final, team up where you see Zeke and Nox just walking from opposite sides, and then they both meet up with Baku, and pretty much we're seeing, a trios match between Baku, Nox, and Zeke versus Oblivion. So a 3-on-1 handicap match. And that's how the episode ends, with Baku saying, I'm on it, and that's it. Yeah, guys, this episode is really, it will really pull your heartstrings, because now you know that Baku is not going to make it. Well, he is, but he's going to transcend, and he's going to become the god of dreams. And Minami will go on without seeing her brother again, except for her dreams. Nem will definitely achieve her dream of living in the real world once again. And Nox will, be working with the Black Case Files until he retires. And Zeke is Zeke. And he will live his cringe life as the most cringiest person ever. And the crazy lady and the phantom are both dead. Yeah, guys. Am I ready for the last episode? Yes and no, because I kind of know what's going to happen. The preview, like I said, gave the ending away. And it's going to be tough to say goodbye. This is the beginning of the end. And after the last episode, then Maisu will come in, and aka the Tom and Jerry show and the Zodiacs. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I have nothing to say because I pretty much said everything that needed to be said. It's more specifically for Baku. Like, it's just the writing. It's on the wall for him, and yeah, he's gonna get a very bittersweet ending. And the actress who plays Minami really took the show or the episode. Yeah. So yeah, give me your thoughts and opinions about episode 49. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Did I miss anything? Even though I have my notes in front of me, I may have missed a couple of things here and there. You never know. And just give me your thoughts about what's your prediction of what's going to happen to Baku. I'm interested of what is your take on Baku's future. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Give a like if you like it, and please subscribe. And I will see you on the last episode of Zeztz and on the other side of Oblivion. Johnny!